Hi guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. In this episode, we will be answering some of your questions, yung mga iniwan niyo po sa comment section ng iba't iba kong episodes. Maraming salamat at kasama natin muli si Miss G. Geraldine Villarreal ng GHV Immigration to answer your questions, most of which involve mga may pending PR applications. Yung iba, parang mali yung unang nailagay na information doon sa application nila. Gusto nilang ayusin, nangangamba, baka daw maging misrepresentation. And the other similar, kumbaga, changes in your status or situation habang meron kayong pending PR. Yan po mostly, no? Although 5 lang naman itong ating sasagutin na tanong. Thanks, Miss G, for doing this with us again. Okay, napakita natin. Ano ba unahin natin? Ayan. Okay. Ang sabi dito, may tanong daw siya. Nag-apply po ako dito sa Canada 2023. Nalagay daw niya single. Pero nitong pag-apply niya ng PR, nilagay na daw niya married kasi hiwalay na kami ng asawa ko. Pero, nilagay ko po, married kasi hiwalay na kami ng asawa ko, pero kasal na po kami. O, may AOR na po ako. Kaso baka ma-misrep po ako. Baka ma-refuse. Pero nag-web form na raw siya. LOE na din po ako. Natatakot lang po na baka ma-misrep. Any advice? Ayan. Okay. What do you think, Miss G?
Ang understanding ko dun sa question ng ating viewer is nag-apply siya during the initial entry sa Canada. Dineclare niya na single siya. No, siguro hiwalay na sila ng asawa niya kaya dineclare niya na single siya. So ngayon nag-a-apply siya ng PR application, binago niya ang declaration, sabi niya married na siya kasi nga naman kinasal siya. So will that be a misrepresentation? Maraming pagkakamali. No, maraming aplikante na nangyayari ang pagkakamali yan. So hindi siya nag-iisa. No? I did have one client, I handled one application, the same, nag-apply single pero nung second application na binago, may common law na, no, para lang makuha siya nung principal applicant. Then tinanggap naman ng immigration. So, ang sabi ng immigration is kailangan kung may pagkakamali kang ginawa sa application, you must put an honest correction. No? And of course, yung proactive explanation na para itama mo yung pagkakamali. So, it definitely reduces the risk of misrepresentation. So, tama yung ginawa ng ating viewer na nag-web form siya bago pa madiscover ng IRCC yung discrepancy. So, that means si Miss Ina, kinorek niya yung error voluntarily. No, wala siyang intensyon na magsinungaling.
Right.
So, sabi nga ng IRCC, I've read this in the IRCC's own policy, unintentional errors that are corrected proactively are not misrepresentation. So, tama yung ginawa niya. And there's nothing to worry about.
All right. In that case, Miss G, kasi nag-web form siya, no? Kailangan ba niya mag-attach ng any legal documentation to prove that they are separated? May ganun ba? O storya lang yan, essay form? Paano ba yun?
If it's a PR application, so medyo medyo mabigat na ang documentation dyan, no? If you say na naghiwalay kayo ng asawa mo, so kailangan there's a proof, a legal document na saying na talagang hiwalay na kayo, legally separated. Di ba sa mga application, may ano doon ang choices doon, married, physically present, no? Merong legally separated, merong gano'n. So if you say legally separated, so it is in the context na magpo-provide ka na ng documents na, yun nga, proving na nahiwalay na talaga kayo. And yung question mo, it is highly advised na or recommended na mag-a-attach talaga ng documents apart from dun sa paliwanag or letter of explanation.
Okay. But in the Philippines, ang tanong dyan, hindi naman kami annulled. Ang hirap magpaano sa Pilipinas, anong pwede kong ibigay? At naghiwalay lang kami ng bahay, gano'n lang.
Oo. There is something called, because currently I'm working on one application na may ganyang case eh. No, hindi makakuha, hindi na malaman nung kliyente ko dito nasaan na yung kanyang pamilya. So, okay. Sabi ko, okay, at least, kasi ang tagal-tagal na namin wina-work on yung documents, hindi siya makapagpasa. So sabi ko, sige, submit tayo ng letter of explanation, then ipa-notarize yung document. So it will transform into a legal document. But it's still, nireject yun ng, we are still in the provincial level. No? Nireject yun ng province saying na yun daw explanation is not enough and humihingi ng legal separation document. That means to say, aakyat yan sa korte, di ba? When we say legal separation.
Nako, medyo tedious process din ano, kung talagang sisikapin mo makuha yung document na yun.
Oo. So, possible, Miss Ina, na okay, nag-web form siya, may letter of explanation, possible na makareceive yun ng procedural fairness letter. No, in some cases, IRCC will ask for clarification. So, you just have to reinstate, ulitin nyo lang kung ano yung na-explain nyo na dun sa letter. And if you have documents to prove yung inyong declaration, then isama nyo rin yun sa pagsasabit nyo for the procedural fairness letter response.
Alright. Thank you. Nasagot na yung tanong mo. I hope that helps. Alright. Let's now move on dito sa pangalawa. Another PR application. Meron din siya. Sabi niya, hello, might be too late for a question, but meron akong PR application currently under AIP. Sa form daw niya, unfortunately, may mali po ako sa date ng entry niya sa Canada nung nag-travel siya via visitor visa daw last year. Mali lang po ng a few days. Would that be a big deal for IRCC? Okay. Talagang no? Mga tiny errors, problema na rin talaga kasi nga naman, baka yun pa maging dahilan, ano?
Oo, tama naman. Tama naman yan. Kailangan sa application may pag-aalala rin tayo. I know, so that it will turn into like a perfect application, we could say. So, people makes mistakes, di ba? So, kailangan talaga itama yung information sa susunod yung application. No? It is highly recommended mag-add kayo ng letter of explanation explaining yung error made sa previous application and unintentional yung mistake or yung error na nailagay nyo. And again, I will say this, IRCC appreciates transparency. No? Simple explanation, that's enough. I have lots of clients na may mga ganyang dilemma. No, sabi ko sa kanila, no, it's okay. Ang mahalaga is itama nyo yung mistakes and provide an explanation para din sa error.
Alright. So, it's okay. Okay, huwag ka mag-alala. Maayos din yan. Basta lang, i-update mo. Exactly. Alright. Okay. Short lang yung ating second query. Ito naman, sunod. Okay. Iba yata to Na ano ba siya? Alright. Sabi niya, hi Miss Ina, ask ko lang po kung need pa bang i-update yung immigration officer kung hindi ka natutuloy mag-submit ng complete application through skilled worker stream. Nag-submit daw kasi siya ng EOI. Pero EOI pa lang, Miss G, no?
Yes.
Tapos na-lay off siya. Requirements kasi daw doon dapat continuously working. So, wala pa yata siya talagang actual PR application, may EOI pa lang siya, tapos na-lay off siya. Paano ba yung Ms. G pag gano'n?
Yeah, if it's in the stage of submitted expression of interest, so that is EOI. Now, whether it is through the express entry pa yan or PNP, wala pag na-issue sa inyo na ITA or invitation to apply, technically, wala pa kayong PR application in place.
Alright.
During my consultation, yan yung very clear na pinapaintindi ko sa kliyente na when we submit your profile to the express entry or na-create an expression of interest sa provincial level, hindi pa PR application yon.
Okay.
So
what should he do in this case?
You don't need, if, I would assume parang ano yan, PNP siguro siya nag-apply,
Mhm.
or AIP. You don't need to contact or update, no? So, you just need to log in dun sa portal nyo, or even if it's Express Entry GC key, then there's a portion there that you can withdraw the profile button. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
withdraw profile button. So yeah, alternatively, you can go to your profile or update your employment history to show na nag-cease na yung work, no, or nagkaroon ng gap dun sa employment mo. So kung ang program requirement dun sa in-applyan mo requires continuous work, so pag in-update mo yung profile mo, so automatically magre-recalculate naman yung points mo and likely magiging ineligible ka sa pool.
Oo.
No? So
Okay.
mag-prevent yun ng faulty invitation to apply.
Oo.
So kung ang case naman, Miss Ina, is nakasubmit na ng PR application,
Mhm.
technical PR application, naka-receive ng invitation to apply, nagsubmit ng documents and all, technically PR application, yes, immediately inform ang IRCC through the web form.
Okay.
ng
Pero
certificate.
parang masasayang din yung kanyang yung IT. Kasi kung nag-apply na siya, no? Ibig sabihin na-invite na siya, masasayang talaga yun. Yun na talaga yun. Oo.
Kung hindi pa siya umaabot dun sa assessment level or stage, let us say sa provincial, no? Ang rule doon is kung hindi pa siya umaabot sa assessment stage, he or she can still withdraw the application and then possibly ma-refund yung kung ano yung government fees na binayad.
Okay.
Pero kung umabot na dun sa na-assess na, no, yung or ina-assess na yung application nyo, it's more of hindi na siya ma-refund ang government fees.
Okay. Well, good luck to you, no? It's unclear kasi kung ano na ba talaga, EOI pa lang ba? O may nasubmit ka rin talagang PR application. Ano? But I hope that helps. Okay. Next naman, ito, simpleng tanong lang yan, no? Ano raw ba ang ibig sabihin pag naka-receive na ng eligibility pass from IRCC? What does that mean? Malapit na ba siya sa kanyang hinihintay na, ano ba to, work permit siguro?
Yeah, malimit. Meron tayo rin nire-receive na tawag niya, oh, Miss G, naka-receive na ako ng eligibility pass. Ano na ba to? Approval na ba to? Na may mga ganun tayong tawag eh. So, when we see, typically, I would assume na ang ating viewer is nag-request ng possible GCMS notes.
Okay.
Nakita na may eligibility pass status doon. So, ang ibig sabihin lang noon, na ang visa officer has already reviewed lahat ng core requirements dun sa application. No, at saka yung mga statutory documents. Points criteria also kasama dyan. And technically or legally determined na qualified ka na talaga dun sa immigration program na in-applyan mo.
Okay.
No? Means na-check na dyan ng officer yung work experience mo, education, language, kung through the Express Entry, CRS score points, verification, proof of funds kung kailangan man yun yung determination na eligibility passed from IRCC. However, hindi pa yun yung determination na approve na yung application.
Okay. What's keeping, ano yung nagki-keep from being approved? Ano pa yung hinihintay? Kung okay naman na pala lahat, Miss G.
Oo. So, dyan papasok yung there are actually 3 stages of PR application, Miss Ine. No? Let us say a PR application is a 3-stage filter.
Mm-hmm.
First, yung eligibility. So, pagpasa ka na doon nga ipapasok yung eligibility passed. So, second yan, i-check dyan is yung medical, criminality, admissibility. No? Pagpasa na doon sa pangalawang yun, susunod niya yung security background na.
I see. Okay. Security check.
Pag nakapasa na yung tatlong yon, doon na makikita niya na yung status niya doon na passed. Wala na yung eligibility, passed. Passed na lang yon ang mag-a-appear sa GCMS notes. Which means final decision na ang kasunod nun. And ang susunod is makaka-receive na yan ng portal invite or yung COPR confirmation of permanent residence.
Alright. So, assuming, kabayan, na ikaw ay wala namang criminal record, no? Konting kembot na lang yan, konting tumbling na lang, malapit ka na. Okay.
That's the right term. Na konting tumbling na lang yan.
Okay. O, pang ilan na ba to? Pang-apat na yata yan, no? So, this is our last. Oh, sabi niya, Miss Ina, for your next topic. Meron na raw bang situation na when a person who has a work permit na nawalan ng work, tapos nakakuha ng EI, and then after a few months, nag-work again, then when he applied for PR, na-deny daw Miss G dahil kumuha ng EI. Okay. Paano ba yun? Oo.
Oo, I doubt na ang reason niyan is because nag-file siya ng EI or nakakuha siya ng EI, no? Hindi po kayo marerefuse simply because naka-receive kayo o nag-file kayo in between yung ng application nyo, no, nag-file kayo ng EI. So remember po, EI or employment insurance is not considered social assistance. No? Actually, binabayaran natin yan as a worker here in Canada or employed here in Canada, part yan ng deduction natin yun, no? Binabayaran natin yan just in case of eventualities na may nangyari sa atin, let us say if it's like through medical or na walan tayo ng trabaho, then we can use yung employment insurance. Again, it's not a social assistance and that cannot be a burden sa application nyo sa EI. So, I would suspect Miss Ina na nag-EI siya siguro in between and then baka tawag dito
baka yung continuous working.
Yes, let us say if it's continuous working, kinount siguro ng ating viewer or nung applicant yung time spent for EI sa kanyang work experience. So, technically kasi while on EI, you are not actively engaged sa work, diba? So, there's no paid work requirement doon. So, when you're in EI, you cannot count that towards your work experience. So, baka na-claim ng ating viewer.
Okay. So, pero hindi natin talaga alam, guys. Ano pa ba? Yun lang kasi yung nabigyan niya. No, next topic, meron na pang situation. Permit. Oo. So, it should not be an issue. Or, sorry, rather, it should not be a reason for your PR to be refused because nakakuha ka ng EI.
Yes, Ms. Ina, siguro na-count niya yung time spent during EI as part of the work experience.
Okay. Or actually, Ms. G, ang dating sa akin, baka hindi pa siya nag-a-apply. Baka siya ay pinagdaanan lang ito at nangangamba na baka maka-apekto sa kanyang PR application o baka nang kakilala niya. Hindi naman niya na-mention eh.
Oo. Parang nakalagay doon kasi sa dulo, di ba? Parang na-deny because of getting...
Ay, oo nga pala natin.
When applied.
Hindi, parang yata to, hypothetical.
Okay.
Meron na bang situation na ganito, ganyan, tapos na-deny because of getting ay, So, no, kung yun lang pala ang wino-worry mo, hindi siya dapat maging ground for your PR. Pero, reminder galing kay Ms. G, huwag mong i-count yung work experience mo, ha? Huwag mo siya i-count na working ka during your period na naka-EI ka. Yeah. Okay, I think we covered all the 5 questions I prepared, no? Ano pa ba? Hold on. Yeah, that is it. Thank you so much, Miss G, again for answering our questions. Guys, tignan nyo naman, I read your comments even if hindi ako nakaka-reply sa karamihan sa inyo, but I'm very appreciative of them. At siniscreen grab ko yung mga yan, iniipon ko para ma-discuss natin sa ating mga episodes. Thanks so much, Miss G. Miss G's email is the one crawling down there. By the way, mali yung title na up ko kanina, yung mga first 10 minutes yata natin. Pasensya na kayo, pero pinalatan ko na. Ito yung tamang title. Okay, we'll end this episode here. See you guys in the next one. Thanks, Miss G. Bye!